Hi guys, and welcome to my garden. Today I thought we would talk garden and garden tools and seeds and planting and everything garden. So my first up is 10 most essential tools that you need for a small garden. In at number 10 would be a fork. That's pretty obvious, you're going to use that for digging. Then number 9 would be a spade or a shovel. That way you can use to dig something out, to move big plants. You can use it alongside the fork for that. You can use it for shoveling things like mulch and compost, moving it to where you want it to go. Number 8 would be a gardening apron. This will save your clothes from being wrecked. Totally recommend one of these. Again, it's just something to save your clothes. Now, number 7, you're going to think I'm a bit mad, but it's buckets. Buckets to me are so essential. They're cheap. You can get them for about £1. Now, you can use a bucket, and hopefully you can see the holes I've drilled in, so you can use them for planting, especially if you're in a small space. Cheap, cost effective growing space. I also have a bucket here with no holes. Now I use this to fill up with compost and take it to the bed, the raised bed that I need. So these are the most handy tool for me, even though it seems mad, but it is. Number 7 is a hoe or rake of some kind. I've got a small hand one, and that is purely because I have small garden space and I have small garden beds and I can do everything by hand. So this double one is perfect for that. 6, gloves. Save your hands is a must. Number 5 would be these. A little dibber, a shovel, and this. These you use, grab a plant, to go in to be able to lift out your seedling. If it's a bit bigger, you can use it that to go in and to lift up. They come as a set. That is great for making a hole, especially for something so tiny to pop into. And they're cheap. They're only £2 or £3 for the couple. Right, next up, we're on number 4, plant tags. You need plant tags. Again, they're cheap, but it's an essential. Number 3 is snips. Ideal for trimming down tomato plants, ideal for cutting flowers, ideal for cutting salad leaves, and they're just tiny, fit into my pocket. Next up, number 2, secateurs. That is a must. Great for trimming down things, some smaller branches and things like that. Perfect. And my number 1 of all, out of all the garden tools, this is the one I use the most. Now, I don't have a trowel. Well, I do, but it's in the shed, but I don't use a trowel because this has it all. This you can use like a trowel. It has a ruler base in the middle, so you know what depth to plant something. It has a serrated edge that will cut through roots. It has a smooth edge, also good for cutting. I've also found this end is absolutely brilliant to dig out weeds, so the weeds sit like that and you can just pull it out. And it also has a cutting bit here. Now that is great for a tough root in the ground. This does it all. This can get into plant pots to hook out. This will help you plant, and this is probably the most expensive out of them all, but it's worth the investment. This is around about £20 and it's called a Hori Hori. It has it all, absolutely all. You don't need the trowel, you don't need a weeder. It just cuts out so much. You don't need a dibber tool. It does it all. Right, now bonus items that I will talk about. A pencil is a must for writing on your labels, or a pen. I use a pencil because I can also mark places for when I'm measuring wood to cut, etc. Now, these are my bonus tools. I bought this one because there's normally 2 of us planting in the garden, and one normally is a child and the other is myself. Now I will plant with a Hori Hori because of the serrated sharp piece here. I give this one to my child to be able to make the holes to be able to plant in so they stay safe. So it's just a bonus. When if you've got kids, it might be worth you thinking about grabbing one of these. And this one, also a bonus tool, and if like myself you have paving slabs down, you'll know weeds grow up in between the 2 paving slabs. This is a weeding tool that gets in between those paving slabs and hooks out the weeds. That is essential for us because we have dogs with severe allergies and is allergic to grass. So we have no grass in our garden, but it does come up between my paving slabs. So to keep on top of that, we use this, and this has been a godsend. It really has. Okay, let's talk seeds. There are loads of places you could order from. I order from Dobies or Dobbies, however you would like to pronounce it. We was brought up with calling it Dobies, something that my granddad used to use and my mum used to use, and my mum still does use. You have RHS, you have Johnson's, and that's the Dobies ones. On top of that you have Mr. Fothergill's, you have King's, oh, you have so many others. But you don't have to go expensive. You could go to the range or the pound store and pick up the packs of seeds that are in there. They will all germinate, that's fine. So you go where you're comfortable. I also order from DT Brown's and Sutton's occasionally. I like Dobies because there is no fancy packaging. They keep the cost down by very plain packaging, no great big colour elaborate photos, which is always good. But let's talk about seeds and their dates. On every seed pack there'll be a date. Packed in year ending March 2022, sown by 2024. You've got old seeds, say they were 2018, 2016. Don't throw them out. They will still germinate. Maybe not as much as a brand new packet would germinate, 100%. With an older seed, couple of years, shouldn't make a lot of difference. It should germinate roughly the same. 5, 6, 7 years, then just sow them a bit thicker. They will still germinate, just the germination rate just goes down the longer you keep them. So don't throw them out, use them still. I've grown plants with 6, 7, 8 years out of quote date, and they've still grown. So don't throw them out. Best time to pick up seeds is when they have a sale, when like a season ends, you can get them in ready for the following year. That is ideal. That saves you pennies. Gardening doesn't have to cost, not at all. But while we're on seeds, they always suggest to mist things in. Now I prefer to use this, and it's a mister, and actually this one was from Tesco's for £3. You can pick them up really cheap. You don't have to go expensive. Again, it doesn't knock all your seeds out when you water them, but it's a fine mist, an absolute must. So with that being all said, let's go and do some planting. Okay, I bought some sweet corn starts because you can see ours have not done very well at all. There we are. Let's get these in before it starts to rain. There we are. Sweet corn planted. Baby sweet corn there. Right, let's get set up on the next spot and we will be back. Okay, next up we've got a herb bucket. And we have catmint. Next up we have lemon mint,
then we got evening primrose,
and sorrel bloody dock.
then we got coriander.
It's an Asian coriander. And last but not least, the burner lemon giant. We're going to go and put this up on a bucket. I told you those buckets were really useful. It's going to stand. This is going to stand on a bucket to keep it up a bit, so my dogs don't get in it. Right, we're back in the greenhouse because it's raining outside. Got my little helper with me, which is number 3 child. First off, I'm going to be planting the RHS P Mange 2. So we're going to put those in these pots. I'm going to put 2 in each pot because we're successional sowing. We've already got Mange 2 already out in the raised bed. We've also got sugar snap peas already in the raised bed and normal peas in the raised beds. So we're just getting this lot ready for successional sowing.
I'm going to be doing P Kelvin Wonder in these ones, 2 in this one, and then I'm going to do 4 in these ones. Do this one.
And again, plant labels and a pencil are another must-have.
I always carry loads in my pouch.
Yeah, because we've both got gardening aprons.
They're very handy. saves you going around and running around the garden and trying to find each tool and everything. You just have it there.
And I'm going to be labelling each pot.
There we go.
And on these labels we write that it's a pea, it's mange 2, and the name of the mange 2. Right, on to snap peas. Right,
That's them done.
tray over what we're going to place them in.
I've got these two.
We always try to keep the pots in the trays because it's just easier to manoeuvre the actual plants around. So when you want to harden them off and things like that. So we always try to keep them in these trays so we can just pick up a tray, take it outside. Okay, let's get these
they're
up.
not loose as well.
Let's take you on a garden tour. This is garden tour number 1. Let's have a look. Okay. In here we've got seeds starting to grow. We've got one here. You can see they're all coming up. And if we move down here, these are the ones that we've just finished filling up. Onto outside, first table. On here we've got cucumbers and peppers and tomatoes, and that's a butternut squash. It's all different peppers. What have we got? We've got lemongrass, we've got a yellow pepper, cayenne pepper, chocolate pepper, stripy tomato, foot-long chili. Over here we got some radish, and that's the white icicle ones. We have Roma tomatoes. Yeah, they're all 4 Roma tomatoes. We have sweet banana pepper. We have holy basil. That needs to be potted up soon. And the same with these need to go out soon, which are busy Liz's. And then to another whole range of tomatoes. In here we've got Orange Queen, Moneymaker, trying to see, Roselle, we've got Tomatillo. Over here we've got sweet pepper, purple pepper. Had to buy one of these, only got it yesterday because it's purple. We've got a black opal tomato, again it was a bought one. And on here we have a Brandywine tomato. Now the great thing about this tomato, not only is it a heritage one, but I'd like you to see the 2 different leaves. Now they're both tomatoes. This is your normal tomato, and this is what they call a potato leaf tomato. How cool is that? Then we've got mini cucumbers and cucamelons, mustard spinach. What have we got in here? Tomatoes, Gardener's Delight, Elsa Craig, the Gardener's Delight and Elsa Craig. Onto these is one of my twins' sunflowers, so the teddy bear ones. We've got an asparagus pea, we've got a nettle, a whole load of other seeds going. So if I bring you to my herb and lettuce bed, all these lettuce leaves that we've been chomping away at. Then we've got one of the herb beds, and you've got everything in here. You've got cumin, basil, parsley, coriander, mint, sage, fennel. You've got apple mint. So you've got several different types of mint and several different types of basil in there. Right, come down. This is our big cabbage patch, and we've also got onions in there coming up. This is great. As you can see, this cabbage here is starting to head up, so it won't be long before we'll be able to harvest that and eat it, which will then allow the space for the onions and everything else to grow. Along the back we have dwarf beans. This is broccoli here, and we've got some peas down this edge here, and we have peas down the other edge. Go to the other end. That's the peas down there. We have a hanging basket on this bed full of pansies, so I need to cut these. Actually, I might as well do that as I go round. Gardening with false nails is a challenge. And these will go on my dehydrator. In here we have more cabbages, dwarf runner beans, and then if we go down a bit further, here we have our kale patch. We have kohlrabi, we have Swiss chard, we have dwarf French beans, and a few spring onions down there. This is the little herb bit that we've just planted. Onto the next bed, where we have another hanging basket of pansies that I come out and pick daily. And then if you go down, right along this edge is sugar snap peas. Then we've got garlic. Along the back we have mange tout, followed by tapped soy, some radish, some swede. This is swede. Okay, we've got turnips, carrots, beetroot, and a lot of radishes. And at the end, another bed of pansies. Okay, so that's all my pansies. I'm gonna pop them in my pocket. And that's why I suggest a gardening apron. Next up we have things like Lavender Calendula. Got a dame on some of them, but we've got Lavender Calendula, Echinacea, Bergamot, pansies. We have fruit trees, we have cherry, we have plum, we have apple, and this one here is a kiwi. Unfortunately the end broke off, but yeah, it'll be fine. And we come down and we have a wineberry, a blackberry, I think that's a hazelnut, blueberries, look at those. Onto rosemary, that's our strawberry patch, several different sorts. Our raspberries that are growing mad. Red currants, look. See that little red currant? It's green at the moment, but that's our first red currant. How cool! I'm gonna have lots of them. Everywhere you look, there's loads. And then down here we've got a few alpine strawberries. A josta berry that my mum gave us. got a gooseberry over there. In here we have spuds growing. There's one there. There's several of them in here. I had to cover them up because we got down to almost freezing last night. They haven't long been planted. We've got some in here. And now we've got more in here.
Here we are.
Yep.
Got a tiny one there.
And we've got one down here. So we've got loads of them. We're going to cover them back up just in case it gets freezing. Another blueberry. We have a kiwi. I must admit, it's not looking very healthy. That is a grape. Then onto here, we've got salvia, nasturtiums, we have marigolds, alyssum, and this all along the front here is night scented stocks. And this was an old barbecue that we drilled holes in and used it. And underneath we have an alpine one, because you've got to have the pretties. In this strawberry planter that we found that strawberries actually didn't do very well in here. I don't know why. I tried for many years and they just didn't do well. So we've planted caraway and cumin in it. So that will be fun. This is my bucket, my salad bucket. You got mixed spinach, spring onion, mixed salad leaves and radish. They haven't been long planted. Over there we have carrots, parsnips and beetroot. Waiting for them to all come up. Along with a rose for my dog who passed away just a few weeks back. It's a memory rose called Gorgeous. My dog was gorgeous. In here we've got some more alpines. What a pretty pink one. So pretty. In here we've got runner beans, climbing French beans, sweet corns, dwarf runner beans, chamomile, nasturtiums, dahlias, and more beans along the front and sides. Then up here we've got all sorts going on in them, but look, a little tulip, and that's nearly in flower too. The bay leaf. Okay, and then if you look down, you will see all our buckets of potatoes. And then onto our last and final table. Again, you can see we've got courgette, we have honeyboat squash. This one's been chomped by something. That looked like a snail trail in there. There's a courgette gold mine. That was a new one. I have to replant that. We've got tomato, the beefsteak marmonde, sweet pepper citrina, and then again all here is different types of salad leaves. You've got spicy leaf, misuna, spinach, speedy mix, lettuce freckles, bull's blood, watercress, corn salad, can't tell, spaghetti squash, winter squash, baked potato, sweet pepper lunchbox. Onto these we've got climbing French beans, speckled cranberries. So they look, I think they're a type of borlotti bean. That's what they look like. Dwarf bean, red swan, and they are, I think they're like a reddy pink colour when they come up. We've got Courgette 8 ball, tomato shimmer. There are alpine strawberries in this one. Comfrey, look, my first comfrey coming up. How cool. We've got red cabbage here, and we have Chinese cabbage along here. These are what my husband chose, so we're growing them. We have squash butter boy, we have more tomatoes, pansy, cucumber, I think that's a cooking cucumber. That's a normal cucumber again, that's not doing very well, I'm not going to worry. Tomato tigerella, cucumber white wonder, chili pepper, Trinidad perfume pepper, winter squash baked potato. That is Pattison squash gagat. I think that's like a little patty pan one. Excuse me for killing the name. Tomato golden sunrise. Here we have snack peppers. Elsa crepe tomato, what was reduced, 65p. Yes, please, I will take that. White wonder cucumbers. Strawberry sticks, which is one of the other twin that is growing those. Got another tomato Elsa Craig. We've got Romas. We've got honeycomb tomatoes. Gardener's Delight. Tomato Sweet William. We have tomato sweet aperitif. Alicante, pumpkin jack-o'-lantern, and one what got eaten. Tomato gardener's delight, and the last one is a lemon apple cucumber, and this one's well cool. I'll turn that. So that's it for this garden tour and garden talking. We will see you next time with garden tour number 2 in a couple of weeks. So if you like this video, please give it the thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, that way you will know each time that we upload a video. And if you wouldn't mind sharing across social media, that would be brilliant, helps us to get recognised on YouTube. So until next time, happy gardening!